Something else I've been dealing with is browsers. That's another one of these fake restrictions, like I mentioned several in the other one. Um, there's websites all the time that the browser I had used for months or years or whatever just stops working. And the only solution is I won't update a browser. I just won't do it. So anytime they do bullshit, I'll just install a different one. So now I've got like 8 different fucking browsers installed of all different kinds. And I would probably have multiple installations of any particular one, except most of them, even if they say they're portable, they still write to the fucking registry. And, I've had the experience in the past where trying to install another version of Firefox, for example, nuked my fucking setup of the other one for that reason. And again, that was never a thing in the past. I even seen with GIMP, like you have to do some esoteric command line shit just to pick your own installation directory now. Last time which again, the one I'm running now is like, 3-4 years old or whatever. But that's the problem with these phones. So, whenever Android decides to force this requirement shit, so they already force a version of the SDK within the SDK. And I'm seeing that now, these stupid, so with the one that wanted me to update all of a sudden, even though nothing fucking changed. I can even see the app in the background, so it's loading just fine. They just want to give me a kowtow or whatever, and I'll find a workaround if I can. But they'll probably do that if I update. Well, either I'll update and then it'll say, "Oh, your Play Store is out of date," or Play Store won't let me download it without updating, right? And it's like to the point where like I'm seriously worried that it'll try to sneak one of these bullshit updates on my phone. And I don't know. It's too arbitrary. Like for an example, not my main browser, but the browser I sign in through for pretty much only YouTube, and either upload videos or make comments. Like a year ago or so, YouTube, Firefox decided to just stop approving the certificate for it or whatever, and the master certificate, if that isn't signed, then nothing counts as signed. So they just arbitrarily decided to stop letting it be up to date, and so the apps just disable themselves. And I found a workaround on Reddit and copied it, and it actually worked, but I have to copy it every single day. Every 24 hours, I guess when it checks again, I have to put that shit back in the developer console. But if you look at the code, it's pretty much literally just telling Firefox to set the add-ons as signed. So that means that's all it was in the first place, right? Like if I had the most complicated, convoluted lock of all time, and it would take you 1,000 years to pick it, are you going to spend 1,000 years trying to pick it or guess the combination, or are you just going to take a $5 pair of bolt cutters and cut the shackle off, right? And that's the way through. Fundamentally, all this bullshit, it's just like no CD cracks back in the day, right? All they did was just bypass this stuff doing whatever bullshit check, because fundamentally it's just setting a bit to 1 or 0 or whatever, right? So if you just look at it with a hex editor and memory, but so they'll do all their obfuscation bullshit. But I mean, fundamentally, they're just arbitrarily preventing you from using shit. But, this is why I mentioned Terry Davis and this and that a lot, and because I really wish I'd spent, the last 20 whatever years learning programming instead of all this other shit that I know. It would just, I guess I never realized, I never would have thought shit would end up like it is. But fundamentally, the shit is only happening because they allow it, right? Like the apps have to update, putting in stuff to check the version. It's like otherwise you just connect. I mean, think about it. If they changed it so much that your version wouldn't work with anymore, then it would just not work, right? You wouldn't have to force that. They'd eventually figure out, maybe I should try updating, right? But they want to try to lock you out of custom firmware or ROMs or so. Like if they can't get their way on the hardware side or OS side, they'll do it on the fucking app side, right? oh, you have a custom whatever, so fuck you, right? Like, yeah, I shouldn't be able to use my own shit that I paid for the way that I fucking feel like, huh? But there's lots of stuff maybe I could know by now. But one thing I do know is that none of this is required. It's all a lie, and it's just to that extent. I mean, Firefox, that stupid shit I put in, it just tells it, just say that they're signed, and now it works again, right? You could get the same problem if your system time weren't correct. It's like if you pull the BIOS and now it thinks it's 2002 or whatever, then it's not going to get the right result because it's matching the time or whatever, right? And, but that's kind of what's happening. But, a lot of these websites, so like browser fingerprinting, for example, like they don't just magically know what your browser is. The fundamental level, they see an IP connected to their server and requested the information, and they either let them download it or they didn't. The only way that they can do this fingerprinting shit is if they basically demand the browser gives it to them, and then the browser gives it to them, right? But I mean, this is why, everything I used to do 10 years ago doesn't work anymore. No script, request policy, and all that shit. I wish I could show what YouTube look or any site used to look like for me. And I would only enable the bare minimum to get the site to work. Well, I mean, now if you have JavaScript disabled, nothing's going to work. Or you'll be, their child molesting little CDN won't allow you. Like so many sites now will tell me that, Kroger or Home Depot or whatever, access denied or whatever. It's like they want to ban me because basically what that is saying is I'm using a browser in incognito mode with all this, et cetera, garbage disabled, and they don't like that because they want to build a profile on you to sell your fucking information. Just like, I watched some videos about McDonald's and other restaurants and, market elasticity. I just thought it was funny. It's like they increase the price so they have less prospective buyers, and then they act shocked when they make less money, right? But it's one of those things like they mentioned that fundamentally there is no competition because almost every restaurant, unless it's like McDonald's and they're like truly gigantic, are owned by some, subsidiary, whatever thing, right? Parent company. And like the idea of a Karen is just a figment of the modern depravity where the customer doesn't matter. Like even with franchised like single businesses in the past, if the franchise lost money, the corporation lost money. But I mean, if every restaurant on the block is owned by the same mega corporation, they really don't give a fuck about your pennies, and they'll just increase the prices. And that's another thing, right? The bootstrapping stuff, Netflix, they got popular because you could just give your login to your friends and then they would go buy it, right? Oh fuck, I thought piracy was a lost sale, right? Walmart used to be half the price to everyone else, right? And then they get entrenched everywhere, and then, oh, we're the only option, so now the price is what we said we wanted it to be, bitch. What are you going to do about it? Go somewhere else, right? They all do this criminal shit. It's like, the problem is the economies of scale, they pay nothing compared to what you pay. They didn't even pay for it anyway because it's all off bank loans that they got from the banks that are stealing that money from you because they don't adjust your bank account to reflect the real value of the currency. Like if it's 5% about every year, then if you put $100 in the bank next year, it's to say $105, but it still says 100. So that's $5 they just stole from you. Your 1% APY. The only reason they'll give you that is because you're not saving 1%. You're just getting 1% less stolen, right? But only because a savings account, hypothetically, at least in the past, was a time deposit. So that money is kind of more of a sure thing for them to fucking gamble with. So they get their bank loans. They didn't even pay for anything. They get the bulk sales, but they don't even have the upfront initial investment. They have some name for it, but they basically say, hey, we're totally going to buy all this from you. And they get the bulk price, but they don't even pay it all at once. And it's not even like a loan, like on that, right? Like there's such massive profit margin. And then now everything is automated. They want you to scan your own fucking groceries. And it's like they could have paid somebody $10 to scan your groceries and another $10 for the other guy to bag them. They rather you have to do it yourself. But man, they sure as hell can afford all them fucking cameras on every angle around the fucking self-checkout, right? 10 years ago, I remember that. That was the meme, right? Self-checkout, everything is bananas, right? And then they get mad about it. I just love how fucking just malignant the human species is. Like, they always act like you're taking something from them. But like, on top of everything else I just said, they'll inflate the price of the product past the inflation rate. And then it's, again, it's all slave labor, through loans stolen from your money. Now they won't even have somebody do the hiring. It's AI, and oh look, shucks, the information got stolen. Well, yeah, because you decided it was valuable. So now you have to have information, mass surveillance, because anybody that's going to, almost everybody except me, that's going to verify an account with a phone number, paid for the thing in their own dumbass name, email address, whatever, same difference, right? And so now that's why they want to pretend this shit is required. And they want to say it's for security. It's like, no, motherfuckers wouldn't be hacking into accounts if there wasn't nothing to steal, right? I mean, you're stealing it and selling it to, that's the other part of that. The fucking data brokers and all this. Like, even if the real price, like the nominal price rather, doubled or tripled, like I said, I've done the numbers. You're paying minimum 10 times what shit used to cost just to get something worse, right? But then they still got to inflate the price further. Like they're the ones hurting for money when Walmart has like 700 billion a year per pure profit. You making, they say you make about $1 million in your lifetime. Let's say you work 50 years. Well, that's, $1 million in 50 years. Well, you would have to work, it's like 50 million lifetimes to make $1 trillion. They make that every year. Revenue, right? Oh, they only make, only 70% of that's pure profit, right? But they got unpaid overtime, unpaid sick leave, just unpaid work in general. And then that's before the slave labor. Oh, we can't use slavery for the chocolate anymore. And then they triple the price of cocoa powder, right? And then again, greedy corporations like that. Now Walmart costs the same as anywhere else, right? On top of all the profit they're already making. So if you get your stupid free French fries using the app at McDonald's, they're not free fries. What they're showing you is they made more than that selling your personal information in the background. So to them, the fries was worth it, right? Like one example I had, and I made a post to somebody about it. These Burger King chicken juniors I used to get, they were $1, 450 calories in 2019. Now they're $2.30 a piece and only 440 calories. Let's pretend they're the same. Okay, well, inflation's only been about 30%. So if they matched it for inflation, it'd be $1.30. So they steal an extra 180% on top of the inflation rate. And remember, even if it stayed $1, they're not losing money because more motherfuckers are being born constantly. There's always new buyers. So it's like all the prices could still be what they were in the 90s or whatever before I was born, even in the 80s, right? And they would still be making record profits, but it's not good enough, right? Because fuck, how's the CEO going to afford their second yacht this quarter, right? They're having to tighten their belts. You mean evil consumers are taking, food out of their mouths. While I'm sitting here literally eating nothing, like almost literally nothing but rice constantly, like I live in fucking Brazil or something. I mean, I've lost a ton of weight, and then of course most of that's muscle because I haven't even been in the gym. I mean, I'll be making some return visits, to account for them stealing from me. But, all that aside, I'm just sick of everything. But, like, the browser fingerprinting, to make that point real quick, and I'm done. They update the site to check your version. And, again, if they can't see the browser fingerprint or all that, well, then they just stop you from connecting. But, it's none of this is required. Remember, and, to wrap it up with that, the price of the currency is fictional. They could pretend $1 is infinite value. They could pretend,